Alright, so I'm going to show you how to work with widgets or UMG, what we can also call them. So widgets are basically what information you want to share with your player. So it could be health bar, it could be munition left on magazine, it could be minimap, it could be anything you want to share with your character on your screen. So to create a widget, I'm just going to create a new folder, widgets. Alright, so I'm going to right click here, user interface, widget blueprint. Okay, so I'm going to name it widget text, for example. Save, double click on it. Okay, so here you have a designer panel. So this is the designer page where you can just place items and make the hierarchy of your widgets. So for example, here I have my palette tabs. So I have a common drop menu here. So it's just proposing me the common widgets that we use at a regular basics. So if I just drag and drop a button in my screen, so this blue area here is my screen. So I just can zoom out here and take this two-layer arrow and just set the resolution that I'm developing on. So it could be a basic resolution here. So as you can see here, I have my button. So in my button, I can just drag and drop a text. So this is a text that is going to be displayed on top of my button. I'm going to name it click me. Okay. So as you can see here, I have my canvas panel. Canvas panel is basically a box, like a box where you're going to store a lot of widgets that you want to store in. I can get a new canvas panel if I want to. So I'm creating a new one, drag and drop it on the screen, and I can add some button in here in my canvas panel. So it's attached to this canvas panel. So you have here the hierarchy tab. If I just hide it, I'm going to hide every child that this canvas panel is holding. Okay? So this is a way we can just organize how your widget is displaying, etc. So I can compile here. So I'm going to click on my button. So when I click here, I have the detail panel. So the details panel is basically where I'm going to organize the size, the position, the content, the color, or anything that is button related. I can change it here. So I'm just going to change the position, going to change the size of it so I can fit my text. But for text in button, you can just click here on size to content, and it's going to automatically size the button to the text size. So if I'm just click here, a button that's wanted to be clicked on, you can see the button is just enlarging itself automatically. Okay, so here you have, so the details panel. You can modify, you can choose if you want your text to align on the right, on the screen, vertical alignment. You can do a lot of things with that. So I don't know if you saw this just before, but when I drag and drop a button on the screen, I have what you call an anchor. So the anchor is just to explain it really simply, it's something that you need to adjust on the middle of the screen, or you just can click here on anchor and choose where you want this button to be displayed. If you want it on the top right or left, on the middle, if you want it on the middle of the screen, you just have to select a position. So whatever the size will be of your screen, this anchor gonna automatically be displaying your button at the right spot where you just set it. Alright? So if the anchor is here, it's going to be displayed every time on the middle. And it's going just to adapt the size of your widgets on the based on the anchor. Okay, so here you have everything that you saw, so the widgets, and on top of that you have the graph mode. So graph mode is where you're going to code the behavior of your widgets. So for example, if I have my button here, my click button, I just can go into graph, scroll down my details, so which one it is. So I'm going to just name my button because it's not good behavior to let the default name. So I'm going to say click me, and I'm going to say for this one empty button. Alright, I'm going to save. So go back to my graph. So the click me, you have the event. So when I click on it, when I press, when I release, when I hover the mouse, when I unhover the mouse. So this is every kind of interaction that I can have with my widgets. So the most common one is clicked. So when I click on this button, on this empty button, which is the middle button here, what's gonna happen? So I'm just going to launch. No, maybe no. Yeah, I can launch URL. So I can just choose which one I want to go to with facebook.com. So when I click this button, I should be throw into Facebook. So it's going to open my browser. Or I can just print a string you on my button. I need to set it to 10 seconds. Press play. Okay, so we have a behavior of the button that I just created in here. So I wanted to use it on my player screen, but nothing is playing when I press play, which is normal because we didn't say to our character that we want this particular widget on the screen. So to do so, we just have to go, which I'm going to save this map. Number 2, alright. So now I can save properly. So if I go on my blueprints, going to my character, so basically I just can add this widget whenever I want. So I can add it in the construction script, but this is not a good practice because construction script is basically when you want to interact with meshes specifically, or anything that is construction related, like visibility or like we did before. Or I can just go inside my level blueprint and say, okay, when I start my level, I want you to display this this widget. So on event begin play, I already have one. So I'm going to have a problem here because this wire is already connected. But in flows control, I have this node called sequence that can fire multiple execution pin from one. Okay, so I can duplicate my execution. So first it's going to start with the then one, then 0, sorry. So it's going to make my cube move, and then 1 is going to be fire at the same time as then 0. Okay, not afterward, just at the same time. Everything is fire at the same time. So just drag another wire here. I'm going to create widgets. So this node is going to create my widget text I have here. So widgets. Here I just select this drop down, and this is my widget that I created just before, W text. So I select it, and owning player, this is my get player character, get player controller. So this node is just to get the player controller, so the player that is controlling the game. So I'm having this one, and I just drag a wire from this widget creator and set add to viewport. So the viewport is just the screen of the player. Okay. You just can select here parameter of the order if you want it to be at the first one. If you want it to be on top of some other widget, you just can select the order. So I'm saving and I press play. As you can see, I have my two buttons here that I just selected. So as you can see, I set the anchor in here, so whatever the size of my window here, this button will still be in the middle. So when I click this button, I have my text, you clicked on my button that appear on the top left. And you can absolutely on click this button, call another widget, so create another widget. If, for example, I'm going to create something else, like W image. If you want to display an image, just can go here, select an image, size it, set the anchor of the mirror. Okay, you can size it. On the appearance details panel, I can select an image. So I'm going to select this little, no, prefer the green one, the red one, yes. The little devil. So compile, save. When I go back to my first widget, I can compile, save. I'm going to add to viewport this new W image, okay? But we're going to see that I'm going to have a problem here. When I click, I still have my widgets on the background, but my image displayed correctly. So to make this widget disappear, I have to call something that's called remove from parent. So basically this node is a function that just remove itself. You know, here's the reference to the self blueprint. So this file is going to remove itself from the parent, from the viewport. Okay. So if I hit save, compile, play, I have my character, my widget here. If I click on it, up, the new image is just displaying on the screen, and the previous widget just disappeared. Alright, so don't hesitate to just play around with it, make a lot of buttons, just see how it works, and yeah, see you on the next video.